Listen, she's pulling away, but she keeps coming back. She says she needs space, but she watches everything you do. She tells you she's not ready for a relationship, but gets upset when she sees you with someone else. And you're stuck in this mental prison trying to decode every mixed signal, every hot and cold moment, every confusing text. But what if I told you her confusion is actually the strongest sign she's already in love with you? And there's one thing you're probably doing right now that's making it worse. Something that feels right, but pushes her further into denial. I discovered this after watching hundreds of relationships fall apart over the exact same mistake. And when I share what it is in a few minutes, you're going to think I'm crazy. But here's what no one tells you. Her confusion isn't about whether she likes you, it's about whether she can trust what she's feeling. And the more you try to push for clarity, the deeper into confusion she goes. And there's a specific moment, a psychological trigger point, where her confusion either transforms into commitment or destroys everything. Most men completely miss it. I'm going to show you exactly what's happening inside her mind when she's emotionally conflicted. Why fear disguises itself as confusion, and the exact moves that either pull her closer or push her away forever. Because once you understand this, you stop taking her mixed signals personally, and you start seeing them for what they really are, a woman fighting her own feelings. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a counterintuitive move that seems completely wrong, almost cruel even, but it's the only thing that actually works. And I'll reveal exactly what it is later in this video. This isn't about games. This is about understanding the psychology behind why women protect their hearts even when they want to give them away. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to navigate her emotional chaos without losing yourself in it. And I'm going to show you the one phrase that makes confused women suddenly get clear, but you can't use it too early, or it backfires completely. So, let's start with the uncomfortable truth, the real reason she's confused. And if you think it's because she doesn't know what she wants, you're about to discover what's actually going on. And trust me, when you hear this, you're going to replay every conversation you've had with her in a completely different light. Why? She's confused. The truth. Picture this. She laughs at all your jokes. She finds excuses to be around you. When you're together, the chemistry is undeniable. But the moment things start to feel too real, she backs away. You ask where this is going. She says she doesn't know. You give her space. She reaches out. You move on. She suddenly wants your attention. Here's what's really happening. Her confusion isn't about you. It's about what you represent. And there's a specific childhood experience that almost every confused woman has in common. Stay with me, because this changes everything. Because in her mind, there's a war happening between what she wants and what she's afraid of. Between opening up and getting hurt. Between falling for you and losing control. And most men completely misread this moment. They think if they just prove themselves more, logic their way through her doubts, or give her an ultimatum, she'll suddenly get clear. Wrong. In fact, there's one specific thing you might be doing to help her that's actually triggering a deep psychological defense mechanism. And when you stop doing it, everything shifts. That pressure creates more confusion, not less. Because confusion is a protection mechanism. It's her mind's way of keeping her safe from vulnerability. Think about it. Every woman has been burned before, trusted the wrong person, let her guard down too soon, gave her heart to someone who didn't handle it with care. So when she starts to feel something real with you, her brain doesn't celebrate. It panics. What if this is a mistake? What if I'm reading this wrong? What if he changes once I admit how I feel? And the more intense her feelings are, the louder that fear gets. That's why the women who are most confused are often the ones who care the most. Here's something that sounds impossible. The more she says she doesn't know, the more certain she actually is. It's just backwards psychology at play. Human beings don't get confused about things that don't matter. We overthink what we're afraid to lose, which means her confusion is actually a sign. A sign that what's happening between you matters more than she wants to admit. But there's a tipping point, a moment where confusion either becomes clarity or turns into permanent indecision. And it happens faster than you think. So if pushing for answers makes it worse, what actually helps her move through this? That's where real understanding begins. And I'm about to share something controversial, a strategy that relationship experts would probably disagree with, but it works every single time. How to handle a confused woman. Before we go deeper, just do one thing for me. Hit the like button if this is already making sense. What's coming next will shift everything you thought you knew. Let's keep going. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Stop trying to fix her confusion. This is the biggest mistake men make. They treat her emotional state like a problem to solve. They ask endless questions. They want definitive answers. They need to know where they stand. But here's the truth. The more you demand clarity, the more trapped she feels. Because now she's not just dealing with her own internal conflict, she's also dealing with your anxiety about it, and that doubles her pressure. Now here's the part that's going to sound insane. You actually need to make her feel like you're okay if nothing happens between you two, even if you're dying inside. Instead, give her the rarest thing most men can't, emotional space without abandonment. This doesn't mean you disappear. It doesn't mean you play games or punish her with silence. It means you stay present without being desperate for her decision. You show her through your actions, I'm here, but I'm not falling apart while you figure this out. That stability is magnetic because most men either cling harder or walk away completely when faced with uncertainty. You do neither, and I'm going to reveal the exact timeline for how long you should do this. Get it wrong by even a few days and you lose her forever. Now here's the part most guys miss. Stop making it about the relationship. When she's confused, the worst thing you can do is keep bringing up us, where this is going, or what we are. Every time you do that, you're asking her to commit to something she's still processing, and that triggers her fear response all over again. Instead, focus on creating experiences, not labels. Make her feel something real in the present moment. Laughter, adventure, connection, peace, because feelings cut through confusion faster than logic ever will. When she's with you and feels alive, safe, understood, her brain stops asking, "Should I?" and starts realizing, "I already am." But here's the dangerous part. There's a specific type of experience that accelerates this process by 10 times, but if you do it too soon, she'll think you're trying to manipulate her. And here's something powerful. Show her it's safe to be vulnerable with you. Most women have been punished for their emotions, told they're too much, too sensitive, overthinking. So when she's confused, she expects you to get frustrated, impatient, or judgmental. If instead you respond with calm strength, if you don't shame her for not having all the answers, if you create space for her to feel without pressure, something shifts. She starts to see you're not like the others, that you can hold space for complexity, that loving you doesn't mean losing herself. Now, I'm about to share something that will sound completely backwards. There's actually a moment where you need to show her you're not perfect. Strategically reveal a vulnerability and it changes everything. But here's the critical part. You must have a life outside of waiting for her. This is non-negotiable. If your whole world revolves around whether she's figured out her feelings, you're already losing. Because a man who's too available, too patient, too willing to put his life on hold, sends one message: I don't have better options. And that kills attraction faster than anything. You need to be genuinely building your life, chasing goals, spending time with friends, improving yourself, not as a strategy to make her jealous, but because that's what high-value men do regardless. And here's the nuclear option. Something you can do that immediately snaps her out of confusion. But be warned, it's risky. And if you don't do it exactly right, it ends everything. When she sees you're not sitting around waiting, when she notices you're thriving, two thoughts hit her mind. One, maybe I'm the one who's going to lose here. Two, he's not going to wait forever. And suddenly, her confusion starts to clear because the fear of losing you becomes stronger than the fear of admitting she loves you. But there are 3 signs that tell you she's about to break through her confusion. Miss these signs and you'll give up right before she was ready to commit. The turning point. Here's when you know things are shifting. She starts reaching out more consistently. The excuses stop. The walls start coming down. She initiates deeper conversations. She asks about your life, your feelings, your intentions. And this is where most men screw it up. They think the hard part is over, so they relax. Big mistake. And when happens, you don't pounce. You don't say, finally, or I knew it. You stay in your masculine frame and let her come to you at her own pace. Because the moment she feels you celebrating her vulnerability like a victory, she'll retreat again. Instead, you receive it calmly. You appreciate it. You honor it. But you don't make it a big deal. That shows her you're not desperate. You're confident. And confidence is what makes her feel safe enough to fully let go. Now, here's the phrase I promised you earlier, the one that makes everything click. But timing is everything. Use it too early and she runs. Use it at the right moment and she melts. When she finally opens up, when she starts showing consistency, when you feel the shift happening, you look her in the eye and you say, I appreciate you letting me see this side of you. Not, I knew you'd come around. Not, see, I told you. Just simple acknowledgement that creates safety. That one sentence does more than 1,000 explanations ever could. The real truth. Here's what I need you to understand. A woman who's confused isn't a woman who doesn't care. She's a woman who cares so much, it terrifies her. And the way you handle that confusion determines everything. You can push and lose her. You can wait passively and watch her respect for you fade. Or you can hold your frame, live your life, and create the space for her to choose you freely. And here's the final truth that most men never learn. Sometimes her confusion never clears, and you need to know when to walk away with your dignity intact. That's the path that actually works. Because at the end of the day, you can't force someone to admit they love you, but you can become the kind of man who makes that admission inevitable. The men who understand this, they never chase. They never beg. They simply exist at a level where confusion turns into clarity naturally. If resonated with you, drop a comment with the word thank you. So, I know you're serious about understanding female psychology and hit that subscribe button, because in the next video, I'm revealing the 3 texts that make a confused woman suddenly obsessed with you. But send them in the wrong order and you'll push her away permanently. Don't miss it.